Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Awaken October Challenge. It is week 3, Thursday, October 18th, evening meditation, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and boy, do we have a nice one tonight. Hello, everybody. Interesting transition there. I switched the transition on my software just to see what would happen. So it's a minute to 8, and of course we're going to give a little bit of time for people to get on board. And I just want to have a little discussion. Kelly and I were out today, and we were shopping at the bin. That is the Nurses Auxiliary secondhand store. It's loaded with everything you can imagine. And today we found Kelly a new pair of beautiful wool socks. She got a nice sweater, a nice top. I found a fantastic hat, which I left outside, I think. Otherwise, I would put it on for you. Honey, maybe you could just take your headphones off for a minute and see if my hat is in the closet there, the new one, the one with the horn on it, or the beak. And if it is, I'll show it to everybody. It'll take her a minute because she'll hear it through her headphones, after, and we'll see if she responds. So we were at the bin and we were doing our shopping, and despite my dislike for being recognized by everybody, it's a little difficult. I may not have had the hat in the house. It may not be in here, so if it's not, it's okay. And it looks like it is. Okay, so this is the hat that I found at the bin today. So just hold on a minute. I love it. This is just, I just love this. I found this at the bin today. It's obviously been handmade by someone who took a lot of time. It looks like one of those Angry Birds. I'm just trying to get it on my head here. There we go. So this is what I found at the bin today for 50 cents. And hello, Cindy. Nice to see you. So, the one thing I do in my life is, as I said to Kelly, I am so totally comfortable in my own skin. Quite sure of who I am, quite sure of every aspect of my being. So for me, wearing a hat like this as a regular part of my winter experience as I'm around town and shopping in the stores, I love it. The sheer laughter and joy and experience that I have had today alone with this hat, just taking it and wearing it in the places we've gone. And yeah, exactly. This is an angry bird on a tiger. So, I found that hat. Kelly got some nice socks and a nice new sweater and top. That wasn't the real gift, though. The real gift, and I've talked to many members of the group about this, both privately and on the group, and as well as Kelly. When you start becoming more and more centered in your being, when you start becoming stiller and stiller within the mind, and as we've talked about, my mind is actually silent for about 80% of my day. So whenever I do have to think, the thinking is very precise, very fast, and very directed. Otherwise, I don't think. I don't bother with it anymore. The benefit of that is you begin to exude an aura that people catch on to. And as I said to Kelly, this is the gift of awakening. This is the gift that you give the entire planet when you focus on yourself and your own conscious awakening. You become a beacon in the darkness. People will recognize your light. Some will shy away from your light, but some will see it for what it is and will step into it. They'll be curious. They'll want to know what it is about you. And in this case, it was both Kelly and myself, and we had a wonderful, wonderful conversation that ended in tears and hugs all the way around with a woman we had never met before. a woman who recognized something in us and heard the words that I was saying and speaking within the store, the bin we were in, and approached us outside the store, and we talked for a good half hour, 45 minutes. It was truly beautiful. It was amazing. And these are the things that start to happen. You know, for years, I had the hardest time with the phrase, change yourself and you change the world. But it's true. When you work on yourself, the self that steps out there into the world, the self that steps out into the masses, is a more powerful, vibrant, expressive being. And that light shines out like a lighthouse. It really... Cindy, wow, I can't imagine. I take it you're talking about, me not being that hard to miss, maybe? And the point is, work on yourself. When you grow, everyone else around you is offered the opportunity to grow. New people will come into your life. The new, synchronicities will start to occur. And total strangers will be drawn to you and recognize the awesome gift and responsibility of your awakening. No blame. It is a gift, something to be so grateful for. Because as I've said before, our evolution is not backwards. If you are waking up in this life, if you are waking up to a new level of consciousness now, that's just so awesome. I've been fortunate enough to have died a couple of times. I have a very interesting level of experience on the other side as well. And I got to tell you, good on you. You can never go back from this. Your next life will become even more expressive, even more full. And the awakening will just continue in a never-ending acceleration towards that living divine connection. Consciously aware at all times of the divinity within and without, bathed in its light, buoyed up by its presence. The presence of who? Of you, your true face, your inner self, the guru, the master guru within you, that which you truly, truly are. Janet's here this evening. Hello, Janet. I'm running out of space because I have to look over to the side. But you missed the animal kingdom, and I apologize for that. So I'm going to pick up the hat one more time. And as I said, I found this in the bin today, and I love wearing this around on the street because the laughter and the joy and the smiles it puts on people's faces is worth everything to me. It really is worth everything to me. So here we go. This is for Janet. You can see my new hat here. And I'm thinking about even going out for Halloween this year. The neighbors' kids are from a Christian family, and they don't believe in Halloween. And I said to them, it's okay. I'm not even sure if I believe in Halloween, but I know there's lots of free candy. So, Halloweening this year for sure. Lots of candy, lots of crazy hats. I've got a couple of these now. The other one's a little dragon. I think a few people have seen it. And I just love wearing these things because of the responses that I get from people. So I'm going to leave it on here another minute before we get to our meditation, I think. And our meditation this evening is going to go a little bit longer. We're going to go into a very deep state of relaxation. A very deep state of induction. I would ask that you have the most comfortable spot you can be in, preferably where you're alone or with others who are doing it with you as well, where you cannot be disturbed. I apologize sincerely for that telephone last night, and before I forget, I'm going to turn the ringer off right now. There we go. No more problems. Find a spot where you can be free of those normal distractions. Lock the door, dim the lights, get yourself comfortable. Tonight we are going to continue our existential journeys within, our hypnotic inductions, our relaxation and visualization sessions. And this hat's getting very warm. It's pure wool, and someone obviously handmade it and put a lot of effort into it. And personally, I love it. Keeps my ears warm, keeps my head warm. And all I have to do is find a way to stick something that'll kind of beep in here when I squeeze it. And that's next on my list. Whew, kind of warm when you're not used to having hair, let me tell you. So how do these meditations work? Well, I want to be clear, if this is your first time at one of these, and you know, I'm a cut up, okay? I'm into having fun. I want you to laugh and smile at every chance meeting that we have. And of course, there is no chance. So if you're here, it's because you're meant to be here. It's because the universe has drawn you here. And it has drawn me here so that we can be here together and to teach and to learn from each other. These meditations bypass your conscious level of your mind. There is something that happens at a deeper subconscious and unconscious level. The visualizations will trigger certain releases within you, will trigger the release of pent-up, dissonant energies that you have held, will help you to release what you would consider to be damaged parts of yourself, and help you to reintegrate your being naturally without the conscious mind always fighting it. So with that, I think we are about ready to begin. Janet, we love you too. I just saw that. And, you know, we love all of you. We truly do. And, you know, this is the one thing that we do as human beings, and I just want to speak to this because this woman who we just met today, she had sent us an email, and we had given her our email address, and we had said, go ahead and send us an email, and we'll send you information on the group and the YouTube channels, and of course, you're welcome to our home anytime. And I ended the email the same way I do to all of you. Much love, and namaste. Now, when I say that, I'm not kidding. I love you. Why? Because I see that you are me and I am you. And to love you is to love myself. Allow that love to spread. And of course, namaste. The first and foremost initial state prior to the act of conversation, prior to the act of engaging. Namaste. I recognize divinity in you. Now let's talk. Totally different point of being to come from. Allow yourself to experiment with this. Allow yourself to look at a complete stranger who you've just talked to. Look them straight in the eye and say, you know what? I love you. You are loved. I love you. I see myself in you, and I see you in me. We share so much more than just DNA and genetics and species, traits. We share in one magnificent whole consciousness, and it truly is a gift. And I am grateful, honored, blessed, showered with blessings by the interactions I have with you and that Kelly has with you. And we both are most grateful. We truly, truly are. So with that, let's enjoy a beautiful induction meditation tonight. Let's bring ourselves to a place of relaxation and openness and wholeness. I see Sharon's here this evening as well. Hello, Sharon. It's good that Kelly caught that. I missed it. So as I said, we're going to, and I have messed something up here a tiny bit, so I'm just going to fix this because this is not actually day 19. This is day 18 evening. There we go. That looks a little better. So we're going to begin. Again, I would ask you to find that comfortable place. Take a moment. Get nice and cozy. If you cannot see your screen in favor for your comfort, that's okay. You can allow the sound of my voice. The screen will have an image as well, and you can allow yourself to focus on that image, and I will give you some guidance with that image, and that image will just help draw you down, help focus you, pull you in. I'd like you to take a deep, conscious breath. And in a moment, I will disappear and the image will appear. And we shall begin. I would like you to listen to the sound of my voice. Listen to the rolling waves crashing on the shore of your awareness. Allow your attention to be drawn to the image before you. Notice how the image changes shape and size. Never the same, yet always recurring, again and again. An endless cycle, an endless vibration of life. Don't try to figure out what you're listening to. Listen the way you would eat, the way you would taste something. Is the food too salty? Not salty enough? Or just right? Is it too sweet? Or not sweet enough? Or just right? Just listen. Don't even try to figure out what I'm saying to you. Your mind will take care of that. Just listen. Around you is a universe of sound. Sound is only the movement of air at your eardrums. Just listen. After a while, it may become difficult to tell if you're listening or you're being listened, or who's listening to what, or what's listening to whom, or who's listening to whom and what's listening to what. Just listen. Just listen. stay here in this silent space. Allow the sounds of the ocean waves crashing against the shore of your awareness. And just listen. The sound of my voice will return. Just for a few minutes. Just listen. While you're listening, notice the pressure of gravity on your body. Feel how it tugs at your feet and your legs and your wrists. Feel how the pressure of gravity pulls at your shoulders and your back and your neck and your head. Feel the gravity on your arms and your hands. Notice how the tug of gravity on one set of muscles reflects itself in the muscles that are associated and connected with those muscles. Notice how you aren't aware of this all the time, but that sometimes you are aware of gravity in one part of your body, and sometimes in another. And then your awareness shifts to another part, or perhaps moves back to the first place again. It forms an endless cycle, endlessly moving, endlessly changing, always different, yet always recurring as your attention moves over your body. After a while, it may become hard to tell whether you're pushing down on the chair or the chair is pushing up at you. Just feel the gravity. Just feel the gravity. Just feel it for a few moments. And while you're listening, while you're feeling the gravity, Notice how your skin feels. Areas of warmth and of cold. Perhaps a slight breeze blows across your skin. Feelings of touch. Maybe a momentary sensation of pain. Perhaps a tickle. Maybe a sensual sensation. This also forms an endless cycle, endlessly moving, endlessly changing, always recurring, but never the same. Notice now how your attention fluctuates over your whole body. Sometimes you are aware of it in one part, and sometimes in another. Don't try to identify with these sensations. Just allow yourself to feel them. Just feel them. After a short while, it may become difficult to tell if you're feeling them or they are feeling you, or who's feeling whom. Just allow yourself to feel the sensations of your skin. Just feel them. While you're feeling the sensations of your skin, and while you're listening, and while you're feeling gravity, notice your breathing. Notice how sometimes you breathe deeply, and sometimes not so deeply. Sometimes you may even stop breathing for a few moments. Then your breathing naturally starts again. This breathing, too, is an endless cycle, endlessly changing, endlessly recurring. Always different, never the same, but always, always repeating itself. Do not identify with your breathing. Just allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to be. Breathe. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Imagine that you are inside a large bag And when you breathe in, you fill the bag. When you breathe out, you empty it. Don't try to breathe out. Just breathe in and let the air return by itself. Imagine at the back of your throat there is a valve. When you breathe in, the valve opens wide. And as you breathe out, it gradually closes. Until when it is completely closed, you breathe in again, and the valve opens wide again. Feel the air as it comes out through your mouth. Allow your lower lip to rest up against your upper teeth, so you can see how the air feels slowing over your lip. Notice how when the air is in the back of your throat, it seems to form the sound ah. When it is in the middle of your mouth, the air seems to form the sound As you breathe out, the air seems to be speaking ah. Notice how these sounds cover the whole of your mouth. After a while, it may become difficult to tell if you are breathing or if you are being breathed, or who's breathing what, and what's breathing whom. Do not identify with your breathing. Just breathe in the silence. Just breathe in the divine waves crashing on the shore of your awareness. Just breathe. And while you're breathing and feeling the sensations in your skin, and listening and feeling gravity, smell. Notice how sometimes, when the air goes through your nostrils, you are aware of scents and odors. And at other times, you aren't aware of them. Smell the smells that come to you from the world around you. Notice how sometimes, when the air goes through your nostrils, you are aware of scents and odors. And at other times, you are not aware. This too varies constantly, is constantly changing. Don't identify with the sense. Just smell. After a while, it may be hard to tell who is smelling what, or what is smelling who. Do not identify with the sense. Just smell. Smell the smells that come to you from the world around you, whatever they may be or not be. Don't identify. Just smell. While you're smelling, listening, feeling, and breathing, notice the thoughts and images that go through your head. Notice how sometimes there is only one thought or only one image. Sometimes there are many thoughts, many images. Sometimes there are none at all. These thoughts, too, form an endless cycle, endlessly changing, endlessly repeating itself, always different, never the same, yet always, always recurring. The thoughts come and they go, back and forth in endless procession. One thought replaces the other. Many thoughts replace one. One replaces many. Or nothing may replace all thought. Or many thoughts, many images may replete a period of silence. Don't try to identify with the thoughts. Allow them to float by your awareness like clouds on a clear sky. Don't try to identify with the thoughts. Just allow them. Allow them to be. After a while, it will become hard to tell whether you are thinking or you are being thought. Who is thinking what? What is thinking whom? And whom's thinking whom, and what's thinking what? Don't identify with your thoughts. Rest in this silent space and just watch. Just watch your thoughts float by. Just watch. And while you're thinking, listening, smelling, and breathing, and feeling, notice the feeling states within your being. Feelings of joy and feelings of sorrow. Feelings of anger and feelings of peace. Feelings of tension and feelings of calm.
feelings of fear and feelings of courage, and all of the thousands of feelings for which we have no names, no words, no labels. All of these feelings too come and go. These feelings come and go in an endless processional cycle, endlessly moving, endlessly changing, always different, but always recurring. Don't try to identify your emotions. Don't identify with your feelings. Just feel your emotions. Just have them. Just have them. And now bring your awareness to yourself. Notice how sometimes you concentrate on your body, your physical self, and sometimes on your psychological or mental self, sometimes on both. Notice how you don't pay attention to all of you at once. Sometimes you focus on one part of you, and then on another, and then on a third part. Or perhaps you might move to the first again. This too forms an endless cycle, endlessly changing, always different, never the same, but always recurring. Your experience of yourself too shifts as your attention shifts. Notice that sometimes you are supremely aware of yourself, and at other times you are not aware that you are deepening. You may not be aware of yourself at all, deepening. When you like yourself, you are aware of yourself positively. And when you do not like yourself, you may be aware of yourself negatively. And there are all degrees of liking and disliking with which you may think about yourself or about different aspects of yourself. Sometimes, in one situation, you'll behave in one way, and sometimes in another situation, you'll behave in another way. These are all part of the self which is always changing. And yet there is a part of the self that watches the self that changes, that is not evolved in the change. You give the self that changes your own name. But there is a self that goes beyond, that watches, which is greater than, which is beyond. The eye that perceives is different from the eye it looks at. The self that perceives is different from the self it perceives. If the perceiving eye contains the eye that is perceived, it must be other than and greater than the eye that is perceived. Take off your mask. Take off your mask, the mask of your small self. Find out who you really are. Experience the self which perceives the lesser self, the I that perceives the lesser I. Know who you really are. See who you really are. Be who you really are. Take off the mask. The mask of your name. Know who you really are. Take off your mask. Take off your mask. You are male, you are female. You are both male and female, and yet you are neither male nor female, but both male and female. You are young, you are old. You are both young and old, but neither young nor old. Located in time, but timeless. Bound in space, but boundless. You have a past and a present, but neither past nor present, but both past and present. You have a past and a future, but neither past nor future, but both past and future. You have a front and a back, but neither front nor back, but both front and back. You have a top and bottom, but neither top nor bottom, but both top and bottom. Wherever you look, the universe appears. When you draw your attention away, it ceases to be, and yet it never was. In any face you look, there are all faces, happy and sad, grotesque and beautiful, light and dark. In any face you see your own face. You are here, and yet you are there. You are both here and there, but neither here nor there. Around you and through you, everything is in motion, yet nothing moves, and still it moves. For whatever is not, and whatever is not is, and whatever is, and whatever is not, at one and the same time. Whatever is true, whatever is false, but whatever is true is false, and whatever is false is true, at one and the same time. You may feel you are separate from everything else in the universe, and you are everything else in the universe. Whatever exists rests within you. Whatever does not exist rests within you. You rest in everything that exists. You rest in everything that does not exist. For nothing exists that does not exist, and nothing does not exist that exists. There is no end to you and no beginning, although you have both an end and a beginning. You are you, and you are me, and yet you are not you, and you are not me. You are all the objects around you, and you are not any of these objects. The world is your multiplicity, and the world is your unity. You are the multitudes of the world, and yet you are the unity of the world. All separation is false and does not exist, although everything is separate. All boundaries vanish, yet everything is bounded. Know who you really are. Be who you really are. Become who you really are. There is no being, there is no becoming, there is no knowing. You are the similarity of all opposites and the opposite of all similarities. The center of all boundaries and the boundary of all centers. Rest here. Know who you are. Be who you are. Now gradually, allow opposites and polarities to reassert themselves. Let the distinctions between is and is not return. Let the distinctions between here and there return. Let the distinctions between boundedness and boundlessness return. And now it's time for you to return. Time to put on your mask of your usual identity, the mask of your name. You don't have to put on all the games you have played. Some of these games were games that you feel have harmed you. When you put on your mask, put it on with only the good games, the games you have played in this game of life that have benefited you. Now that you know who you really are, you don't have to play the games that hurt you anymore. Slowly, with intent, allow the ocean waves, the waves of consciousness breaking against your awareness, to slowly recede. Quieter, at peace, whole, complete, perfect just as you are. Take a deep, deep, relaxing inhale. Allow a sigh of gratitude to escape your being. and return to the relative world. So we had a little bit of problem on the Facebook end. It was not on our end, and we did lose the stream. Hopefully everyone picked it back up. I have recorded this video, and I will share out the link on the Help Awaken YouTube page to it, so that you may do it again at any time. And I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful, peaceful night, a night of relaxation, of unity, harmony, peace with oneself. Namaste. Much love to you all. Looking so forward to this weekend's discussions, as well as our continuing meditations. We shall see you in the morning, where we will begin a new series of inductions.